0 to 60 can define a performance car, but it's the fastest 60 to 0 that's the aim of Tarok's brakes. From road cars to race cars, circuits, special stages, or the autostrada, nothing reduces speed like Tarok's brakes. Italy gave the world the art of Da Vinci and Michelangelo. Tarok's has given drivers the art of stopping. For more information and to acquire your own masterpiece, visit tarox.co.uk. Yes, it's me, Mike Stone, and this is the Backseat Driver Podcast. I'd like to welcome to the Backseat Driver radio show a young chap called Peter Reeves, better known as Pugs, who is the events coordinator and media officer for the British Lawnmower Racing Association, an organisation I've been meaning to get in touch with for ages, and I've now got round to it. Pugs, welcome to the Backseat Driver radio show.
Hi, how are you?
Well, we're not doing too badly. It's one of those things, I suppose you could say cruelly, since racing's been curtailed so badly due to the plague, we're now down to racing lawnmowers. But
brilliant.
But I mean, how did racing lawnmowers come about?
So, a mad Irishman called Jim Gavin in 1973/74 decided, he used to do grass track racing and that sort of stuff, bit of rallying, and him and a few guys thought it was way too expensive, and let's try and see whether we can come up with something that is more affordable to the average male.
Yeah.
So over quite a few pints in Wisborough Green, from the Cricketers' Arms, they looked out on the cricket green and saw this young man cutting the lawn ready for the off for the tee tomorrow, and thought, well, why don't we race some lawnmowers? So what they did is they put an advertisement in the local paper, I think it was, and about 3 or 4 weeks later, after people had stolen bits off of their wives' washing machines and mowers and that sort of stuff, I think there was about 70 mowers at the first race meeting, and it's just progressed since then, really. And we go all over the world. There's clubs from all over the world that do it, and yeah, it's great fun.
I mean, one thing I did notice looking at your Facebook page, there's a 24-hour race in France and there's ice racing in Finland, and if the photographs to be believed, some of your entrants are actually well worth travelling to Finland to go and watch.
Yeah, so we generally there's a Finnish mower club that we race with every year over there for 12 hours. Yeah, we put studs in the tyres, and they're only allowed a certain amount of studs per vehicle, and then the spare tyres have to be checked, and blah de blah de blah. So we race from 8 o'clock in the morning till 8 o'clock in the evening over there. Anything from a Makita drill light that's gaffer taped to a bonnet, to people having LED light bars, and it's not. I've seen a mower with a turbo that was strapped to it, with just the oil feed and return pipes holding it on. No mounting for it at all, and the amount of times that they broke and absolutely peed oil everywhere and just caught light, and then they go and fix it and put another pipe on it and that sort of stuff. And then the French 24-hour with up to 8 drivers for 24 hours, and when you win you get a chicken to bring home with you. It's it's quite interesting. so yeah, it's not checkbook racing. Every engine's all the same. So the only thing what we're allowed to do within our club, and majority of the clubs in the UK, is you're allowed to take the governor out, and that's it. You're not allowed to blueprint it or any sort of modification as such. So it's literally just a standard lawnmower engine with the governor taken out, and that's it. Everything else is done on gearing and that sort of stuff. So yeah, and you get to speeds of 50, 55 mile an hour on these things, and there's no suspension. So it hurts quite a lot, but it's great fun.
Now, I've been told that the what you might call the entry level class is the lawnmowers that you walk behind. Is this the case?
Yeah. So we mainly do that for the younger generation now. We try and get the kids involved and that sort of stuff. There is a Group 1, which is a run behind. So basically you get a group, and you get like an old Suffolk Punch, a 12 or a 14-inch cutter. You take the blade out of it. You take the governor out of the engine, and you put a kill switch in it. So if you let go of the mower, it cuts the engine out, and then it's just run as fast as you possibly can. And I remember when I was a kid, I remember going to the 12-hour, which is sort of like the pinnacle of our race season throughout the year in the UK. I remember seeing teams of 50 running around for 12 hours doing it, and they clock up about 140 miles between them. Absolutely stupid, but it's so British, it's unreal.
I mean, can you talk us through the class after you've decided that running behind has to be improved upon?
Energetic. So you've got the Group 1, which is a run behind, then you've got a Group 2, which is what I would class as, if you were looking at a cricket green machine that had a big grass box on the front, and then a little chair that you'd sit on before, after it, and you'd tow the chair around. Yeah. Well, basically, we lower them, and then we change the roller that you'd normally have on it. We take them off, and we put motorbike. You basically bolt motorbike tread to that roller. Yeah. And then that's basically a front-wheel drive mower. You make a trolley box behind you, and then you tow the trolley box behind the mower itself. So
the roller with the tyre tread on is actually how you get traction.
Yes, and you steer it with your feet. You don't steer it with your hands, because if you steer it with your hands, after about 2 laps, you can physically see your forearms pulsating with your heartbeat, because they're that hard to steer. So you basically steer it on your feet, and you use your hands for your throttle and your brake and clutch and that sort of stuff. They're probably the cheapest to get involved in. They're great fun. They hurt a lot less than the others, because they've got suspension on the back seat, which was allowed as a gentleman's agreement years ago, and it's stuck. Then you go from that, you go to a Group 3, which is what I class as the absolute stupid mower, because you basically get it's a Westwood Lawn Bug. Is designed in 1970s, late 70s to early 80s, I think it was, and it's basically a go-kart, off-road go-kart, really. It's a tiny little square, and you bolt an engine to it. And you basically, when you've built it, what you do is you cut the roof off of your head, and then put your brain in a box, and then put your cap back on, and then you go racing with that one. They're crazy little things. They're very fast, very unstable, but great fun.
Now, I mean, a friend of mine nearby here has quite a large lawn, and he has one of these really nice big Pawsey John Deere ones that you ride about on. I mean, do people ever use those, or or do people tend to frown upon such?
So the last group is a Group 4, which is what you would class as a garden tractor. These come in all different shapes and sizes and that sort of stuff. That is the probably the biggest class out of all of the clubs in the UK that we have now. Anything from a John Deere to a Westwood Gazelle to a Wheel Horse to, a Laser or anything along those sort of lines. You name it, it's pretty much guaranteed you can drive it. You get a standard mower, you take the cutter deck off, chuck that in the bin, and then you go and sit in your shed, and you design it the best way that you could possibly do.
Right. I mean, just out of interest, what guidelines are you governed by?
So there is rules and regulations to our club. We have a owner's handbook that you can either download off of the website, or you can buy a hard copy, and that gives you all of the criteria that you're allowed to modify the mower to. We give you say for instance, if your friend with his lovely John Deere that he probably wouldn't want.
By the way, it's about 6 months old and costs him a fortune. He's even got a mobile phone mount on it in this one.
So what we would do is we would give him a spec sheet, so that gives him the the overall length of the mower, the width, and this, that, and the other, that then he has to work to fit the criteria. So he's not allowed to get the rear axle off of it and then make it 10 times wider because it's a lot easier to ride like that. So it has to fit in with the original spec of the mower, if you get what I mean. So it makes it a bit more of a level playing field, and it makes it a bit more interesting to see what you actually go and buy, because some people buy the narrow mowers and some people are quite witty and decide that they want the widest thing possibly known to man, because it's wider and lower makes it a little bit more stable in the corners. So but it's each to their own.
I mean, if you get one of these and tune it up, because I conclude a lot of people will stick to the original engine that it's got.
Yes, yes.
What sort of power can you get? Because I mean, a lot of them will be like, I mean, I have a still lawnmower. I mean, it's a petrol one. It propels itself along, but I still walk behind it, and I think it's the glorious power of about 2 horsepower.
So these are 13 horsepower. They're 413 cc. That's the maximum that we're allowed. Anything under that is there are certain engines that you're allowed to use and certain engines that you're not allowed to use. In regards to the Group 2s, if it's a Group 2, this is the only class that you're allowed to do it. If it's under 6 horsepower, I think, if I remember rightly, you can tune the engine to all that you want. So you could basically go and get it and go and take it to a go-kart factory and get them to, tune the engine absolutely to diabolical, and then put it on that, and then see how you get on. But obviously, the more you tune it, the less reliable it is. But because years ago there used to be a 2-stroke one, which was 5.5 horsepower, I think, but it was like a rocket. Yeah. As soon once it got into once the power band cut in, it was mental quick, and it wiped the floor. But unfortunately, they're a bit few and far between now. They're a bit of a rare as a rocking horse, whatnot. Yeah. To find, but.
Now, I conclude the transmission on all the lawnmowers. It's an automatic transmission. Or do you get them with? I mean, there'll be some of the ride-ons will have forwards and backwards, but do they have gears, or are they just a CVT?
So what we do is with the gearbox itself, most of them will chuck that in the bin, and then we put pretty much it's the same as a go-kart rear axle. So you can either have a go-kart rear axle with a motorbike clutch put on it, or you can have what we've got is called a T-drive. So it's just basically a horizontal to a vertical, or a vertical to a horizontal shaft, goes through a crown wheel and a pinion gear, and basically you transfer the drive from one way to the other. Yeah. And then you can either do that via the motorbike clutch again, or you can have a slipper clutch. So you just got 2 jockey wheels, and you just straddling the belt to tension it up like you would on an auxiliary belt and that sort of stuff. They have to use a certain amount of percentage of the original drive chain, which would be rubber. Yeah. So that keeps it a bit more of a level playing field, so you don't get people with just chain drive, because otherwise a chain will last a lot longer than a rubber belt. Yeah. I remember doing one 12-hour. I'd done 11 hours on one belt, and then it just turned into mush. Yeah. So that cost us. We were running 3rd, I think, at the time, and then it cost us. We went down to 5th, so which was a bit annoying, but never mind. That's racing, as they say, isn't it? Yeah. Anything can happen.
Are there any? I mean, I've never really looked into lawnmowers beyond buying them to cut me lawn. But I mean, can you get 4-wheel drive ones, or are they allowed, or are they verboten?
To be fair, I've never seen a 4-wheel drive one. Just because the best way to describe a racing mower is simple works. The more you make it complicated, the less it will be reliable. Yeah. Because you're going over, I don't know, the week before the farmer's got all his cattle in the field, then we kick all the cattle out, and then we put a few barriers up and this, that and the other, and then we go racing in it. So it's not exactly like it's a cricket green to race on. You get loads of potholes and this, that and the other, and because there's no suspension, if it's not either welded properly or, it's not tight, it will fall apart.
Yeah.
And you will have bits flying off, this, that and the other, and wheels going here and people flying off here and that sort of stuff. So it does make for entertainment value as well. So
apart from the ones with the rollers that have had tyres put on them, I conclude the normal ones with 4 wheels. Do they race on the same wheels and tyres that they would have as a lawnmower?
So they have the front wheels that you can race as original. The rear wheels that are massive, we take them off and then they're to a standard size that everyone has got the same size front and rear, so that it's all pretty much a level playing field again. Otherwise you could have people with bigger or smaller wheels, and the rolling circumference changes and that sort of stuff. So there's advantages and disadvantages there and that sort of thing. So it's kept as a level playing field, and that's all over the clubs in the UK. A majority of them from Belgium, France, Germany, in the States they do the same sort of thing as well. So it's all, it's pretty much a level playing field right throughout the whole world, really.
Yeah. I conclude, they'll all be petrol. When they're actually driven like this, I can get about 5 or 6 moles out of my still before I need to put a bit more petrol in it. What's like fuel consumption on them as they're racing them flat out?
So a 5-litre tank will probably do around, 4.5, 5 litres. It will do about an hour.
Yeah.
If you're absolutely on the beans, flat out. They'll average that, and I think for 12 hours we usually do about 80 or 90 pounds worth of fuel, something like that.
Right.
And that's obviously including the generators that you run in your lights in your pits throughout the night and that sort of thing. Which is that's our biggest event of the year. It's amazing. It's really good fun. You get 50 teams from all over the different countries come and compete, and we have a Le Mans start, and that's it. And it's literally you race right throughout the night. And again, you can have people with literally push bike lights on the front. As long as there's lights on it, it doesn't matter what style they are. And some people's idea of lights, they might as well be candles in the wind.
Right.
Because when you're going 50 mile an hour down a straight into a 90-degree bend, and you've got nothing but a matchstick to see out of, it becomes a little bit hairy, needless to say the least. Or it could be a case like one of the drivers last year went down the straight, got to the corner, and then all of his lights just cut out because he had a short on his mower, and he was driving in the dark, so he had to do 3/4 of a lap trying to follow someone. He had no lights. So, yeah.
Now, I conclude the pictures I've seen, those who compete actually have to wear it by the looks of it, apart from the mandatory crash helmets. Do they have to wear, like, racing overalls, or apart from the helmet, is anything goes?
The only thing is arms and legs have to be covered, and you have to wear gloves. Apart from that, you can wear jeans and a hoodie or a jumper. You don't have to have race gear. Like down to kill switches. As long as the kill switch works, as long as if you fall off the mower cuts out. I've seen someone who had one and he made it out of a block of wood, and it just basically slid out. And then as soon as his wood slid out, that was it. It cut out. That's good enough. So you've got people. I've seen another chap with a group 2 mower, and he held his trailer box on to the front of the mower with a bent nail. It lasted for about 4 laps, and then decided to break, and the mower went off, and he was sitting on the floor. But it's whatever whatever you can find and you can make, and some people are engineers and do an absolutely wonderful mower, and some people are, it's not their trade, and unfortunately they just try and make it the best they can.
Yeah. I mean, roughly, as like you were saying, some of them are modified. What's the average cost of one? Because I conclude nobody goes out and buys a new lawnmower to do this.
No. I mean, if I'm truthful, so a Group 2 you could probably get going from anywhere between £600 to £800. A Group 3 or a 4, you're probably going to be looking anywhere between £1,500 and £2,000 to get racing. And then a year's membership is, I think off the top of my head, is £50. And then a race meeting will cost you, I think it's £45 to £47 for a weekend. Yeah. You can bring your family. Everyone brings their families along. We have usually, before obviously everything's gone on, we usually have barbecues and this, that and the other, a few beers over the evening, and then it's back to racing again in the morning. So it's great fun, and then we do, you do bale surfing and all that sort of stuff in the evenings. Yeah. Just to pass the time. I mean, why wouldn't you want to get a 4x4 truck and tie someone to a bale and turn around and see how long they last? I mean, why not?
True. Now, as you were saying, it's farmer. The circuit or the track is a farmer's field that until the other day had cows and sheep wandering around it. So I conclude, do you use regular fields all the time, or else are you able to pick different fields? And just out of it, how long is your average lap?
So an average lap, it varies because every track is completely different. No track is ever the same, and it all depends on how much space we've got is dependent on how long the length of the lap is. They vary. Some of them can be 20, 24, 25 seconds. Sometimes they can be a minute and a half. It all depends on how much field we've got, really. And as I say, like we will turn up. We've got a few regular places that we go to throughout the year, and then there's a few shows that we go to. So, say for instance, we go to Headington and Stockley Country Show, which is a steam fair and that sort of thing. And then we go to a few other shows that are more local to us. Other than that, it's farmers very kindly lending us fields that we can, most of them have either raced or they want to have a play and that sort of stuff. So we give them a mower for the weekend and they give us a field. So that's usually how it works. And they love it, and we come back every year. So.
Just out of interest, I conclude it isn't. I mean, fair enough, if my lawn's wet, I don't mow it. But does the weather or the conditions have any effect on it all, or is it just off you go?
There is a point where it gets pointless to race. We will race in the rain and the mud, but when they get to the point where you have to physically push them round, then we'll stop. I've raced where I've had so much mud in my eyes, my face swelled up, and I had to get my wife to drive me home because I physically couldn't see properly. And it took about 2 or 3 days for my eyesight to get better. So it's kind of to the point of how much do you want to win?
Yeah.
We actually stopped one of our main race meetings for the year because there was a digger scraping the mud off of the track so they could still get round, and someone tried to overtake someone else, which caused both of them to stop, so they ended up having a fight mid-track, which was then we stopped the race. It's a very much a different sport, but it's so much fun. It's ridiculously good fun.
I mean, but from what you've just said, I conclude, like all people who race, and I'm one of them, or I used to do, as soon as the lights go out and the flag drops, the fact that they're on lawnmowers has little bearing that they're all off racing.
I mean, to be fair, I was quite privileged. I got involved in. We took the mowers a couple of years ago. We went to the Formula One just before it was on at the Silverstone, and we had Johnny Herbert, Martin Brundle, Anthony Davidson, and Kimi Räikkönen. They came down for the morning, and they were like little kids.
Yeah.
As soon as the flag was dropped, that's it. They didn't care what they were on. They were absolutely flat out on these things, on two wheels, and it was really nice to see. And when they came in, they were just like any other like racers that you'd see. Is like, oh, you took me out there and blah. Oh, you were left foot braking and all this sort of stuff, and having a right laugh of it. And you think, well, they're used to riding, hundreds of £1,000s worth of machines, and they've come on and they've ridden these £2,000 lawnmowers, and they're just having just as much fun. And like they said, as soon as the flags drops, it doesn't matter whether you're racing a Formula One car or a mower. You just want to be at the front. Yeah.
I think another one of the famous entrants from years ago was Sterling Moss, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, we've had Sir Sterling Moss on the mowers. We've had so many. We've had Guy Martin. He come and raced in our 12-hour. We've had loads of people throughout the years come and race with us. It's been amazing. What a privilege we've had. Yeah, he had a Group 3 that was slightly wider. Somehow they've managed to find this one-off wider Group 3 and won the 12-hour with it. But no, it was brilliant. Yeah, really good fun. I mean, I wasn't around then, but rumour has it, it was a very good race meeting. We.
I mean, it's one of those things. I mean, at each meeting, how many new entrants do you get? Do people see it and think, I'm having to do at that?
Yeah, I mean, obviously we get the diehards, the regulars that have been coming for years and years and years and years. We do get the odd. I'd like to say we probably get 5 good, hardy new members a year.
Yeah.
But then you always lose a couple a year, or people's circumstances change and that sort of stuff. Hopefully next year it's going to be good. I mean, from looking on our committee side of things, we've had a lot of inquiries with people wanting to build new mowers, because obviously at the moment they're all stuck at home. They can't really do a lot, and it is the cheapest form of motorsport that you can do, and people want to build mowers so they can come and race for next year, which is really good for us.
Yeah.
Hopefully it should be a really busy season next year. So.
If somebody wants to do this, where's the best place to go and find yourself a second-hand lawnmower? I conclude it's a bit like join your association first, decide what category you want to race in, and then decide on the lawnmower. I
mean, to be fair, that would be the best thing. Is obviously if you were looking to get into the sport, have a look on YouTube or other video places where you can watch videos on it of racing lawnmowers. If you type in racing lawnmowers, there'll be loads of it about.
I've had a look. It's absolutely mesmerising.
Yeah. There is actually quite a lot when you start looking into it. There is actually quite a lot. Find a mower find a class that you like the look of. I would say come down and have a watch. That's probably the best thing to do, is come down, have a watch, see what you actually like the look of. Then go away, either look on Gumtree, Facebook, or eBay, any search engine, and just look for spares or repair mowers.
Yeah.
You can get them as little as 50 quid, or even lower than that, or you might know someone who's chucking one out and wants to get rid of it. And then you just email into the club, get a homologation sheet, and we'll send you a homologation sheet to work from. You build your mower and turn up at the first race meeting. We'll have a look at it and go through it with you, just to make sure that it's all within the spec. And then if there's anything that requires changing and that sort of stuff, we give you a logbook with your mower. So it's got its own identification number, and it's got its own logbook. So every time you come to a race meeting, we sign you on. We do a safety check on the vehicle to make sure it's safe for you to race on for the weekend.
Yeah.
And that sort of stuff. And then we sign in that, and then you sign on after that. Once it's been checked over, and then you're ready to race. And it's pretty much as simple as that. We give a race briefing in the mornings, and then we generally do probably about 8 hours of racing a day.
Yeah.
For 2 days over the weekend, and sort of like 16 hours racing for 50 quid is pretty.
I mean, that's actually some going, is that I mean, it's like I said, I'm at Croft tomorrow, and I can assure you the racing I'm going to see and the drivers I have to go and see will be absolutely delighted if that's all it cost.
Yeah. I when I went to America a couple of years ago for racing lawnmowers, they travelled like 3,000 miles and they raced for about an hour.
Yeah.
And they were quite happy with that. And I was like, that's ridiculous. I wouldn't travel 3,000 miles for an hour's racing. That's stupid. But it's each to their own. And they've come over here and they've done a weekend's racing with us, and it's like, oh my God, this is ridiculous. But that's why it's the cheapest form of motorsport, and people stay doing it for years. You get a lot of flack from at work, does it cut the grass and all this sort of stuff and that sort of stuff. But once people have been down and actually watched it, they're quite interested and go, oh, actually, can I have a go on it and that sort of stuff.
I was going to say that if people turn up at one of your events, especially as a country show, are they able to just basically have a go? I don't mean at race speeds, but are they allowed to get on one and just have a ride round on one to see if they like it?
Usually I'd say not really. It all depends on one, the clerk of the course, and two, whether there's anyone willing to lend you a mower and that sort of stuff. That's what I'd probably say. And then it would be after the race meeting's finished. But I mean, we used to do a taster weekend where we basically put it out that you pay, I think it was £10, and people would just, all of the club members would bring their mowers down and people could just try them out and see whether it's something that they actually liked to get into.
Yeah.
And then they'd go away and build their own mower. I think that's half of it. It's quite nice to actually build something yourself in your shed. To go away over the winter and build something from scratch and then turn it out and see how well it goes.
Now, you were saying, apart from in France where you win a chicken, from what I can gather, there's no prizes up for anybody who wins, is there really?
No, so when it first started, Jim Gavin and that sort of stuff, they said no sponsorship and no money involved, because at the end of the day it's all just about bragging rights really, and who's faster than who. And it kept it nice, because otherwise it turns into who can spend the most on this and who can spend, and that sort of stuff. And that's not what it was about, or whether you can get a sponsorship deal with, I don't know, John Deere or Stihl.
Yeah.
And then they can provide you with the best stuff, and the little old man who's scraped up enough money to get a mower and put an engine on it and come out for the year, he's got no chance of beating the other guy. And it just makes it a little bit more level for everyone.
Now, though you were saying there's no sponsorship, do any of the manufacturers take interest in this?
We've done a few things with Honda over the years. They got involved a few times. We've had Briggs and Stratton. They got involved with the Northwest Lawnmower Racing Association and Mower Madness, because they done Land's End to John O'Groats on mowers. So they built 3 mowers and they've got registration plates on them and that sort of stuff. Got an insurance and everything like that, and they drove them from Land's End to John O'Groats for their first attempt, which they done. They had a support crew and everything like that.
I have to ask, how long did it take?
I can't remember off the top of my head. I'd have to Google that one. I can't honestly remember. And then the second time they drove every county in the UK.
Yeah.
So they've done that as well. So yeah, that was their second attempt. And then there's talk of them trying to see whether they can go over to America and do Route 66 on them. Yeah. And maybe do a European tour and that sort of stuff as well. But so there's been some weird and wacky things over the years. In America, they've got a monster truck mower that someone's building, and they've got so many weird and wacky things over there. It's unreal. I've seen one chap. I saw one chap who I raced with, and he had so many trophies because he'd done it for so long. He's got a hot tub and a swimming pool. He emptied his swimming pool and filled his swimming pool with the amount of trophies that he's got. It's ridiculous. I wish I was that good.
I mean, like, who is like? There's got to be a reigning champion and everything else. I mean, who are these?
So we do a British Championship every year. We have done since it started. There is one chap on Group 2s who's won the Group 2 Championship for 18 years in a row. He is undefeated. And believe it or not, these boys have been doing it for years and years and years. He's 60 years old and no one can still beat him. He's just unbelievable. He just got such a good drive etiquette. Yeah. And he's so smooth when you watch him, and he's just unbelievably good at driving a mower. Comes from experience, and he might be an old boy, but he sure hell knows how to get the whippersnappers going. And it was very close last year, but it just his mower was just that little bit more reliable. He did get a little bit flustered, and then the other two classes, the 3s and the 4s. There's been various winners that have done, that have won for five or six times in a row and that sort of stuff. But they come in and out because they get a little bit older and lose their touch. But I mean that. What an achievement for 18 years in a row. It's just
it won't be the same lawnmower, would it?
To be fair, I think he's only done 2 mowers in those 18 years. So, but I mean, he does have a bit of an upper hand because he's a golf course technician, as it is. He repairs all the golf course machinery, so he's working with mowers all the time and stuff. So he does have a little bit of an upper hand. But yeah. Yes.
So, I mean, I conclude when you guys are back at home, mowing the lawn is something you relish.
I get my wife to do mine.
I'm going to say, I know when I mow mine, it's one of those tasks. I sit in the lounge and look at it and think, I'll just have another fag and another pot of tea, then I'll go out and do it. And
Exactly that. I'm usually tinkering either with my push bikes or my mower. And she's like, the grass needs cutting. I'm like, I'll get around to it next week. And then it's, I'll cut the lawn. Oh, fantastic. Well done, love. So, yeah, I mean, most of them cut their own lawns, I think.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
So, if anybody wants to get involved, if they go onto Facebook and it's the BLMRA.
Yeah, BLMRA. Or if you go into Google and you want to look at anything about lawnmowers, just put in racing lawnmowers, and we come up on the first search engine anyway. So it's the British Lawnmower Racing Association. We're the founding club in the UK, and the founding club in the world, I suppose. We started off in '73, and everyone's sort of gone on from there, really. There's 5 clubs in the UK, so there's 2 that are more northern. No, 3 that are more northern, and there's 2 from down here, down south as such. There's the Channel Islands Lawnmower Racing Association as well. But yeah, I mean. Just Google racing lawnmower and it'll come up, and we're always helpful and that sort of stuff. And if there's anyone who wants any information, then generally Facebook people will answer straight away to you, and that sort of stuff. Yeah.
But no, absolutely fascinating. As I said, it was a subject I've been meaning to cover for a long time, but it's like one of those things. I kept saying, I'll get round to this one day. And I was watching something on television and you guys were on. I thought, that's it. Get on Facebook, find them, and away we went. So, Pugs, it's been an absolute delight chatting to you. Thank you very much indeed. I'm hoping when this stupidity has ended, it might be nice to actually to come down and watch some of you guys and everything else.
Yeah.
And it will be definitely different to watching the sort of racing and rallying that I'm normally used to seeing.
Absolutely, yeah. It's like nothing you've ever seen. Stupid people on lawnmowers.
But
but you're more than welcome to come down anytime. No problem whatsoever.
But once again, Pugs, thanks for joining me on the Backseat Driver Radio Show here on Drystone Radio.
Thank you very much.
That's great. Thanks very much. Bye.
Rarely beaten on price, never beaten on service. Whether it's cars, bikes or commercials, Hoddy Tyres are the best in the business. And when it comes to tyre expertise and advice to supplying the correct tyres for your vehicle's specific requirements, nobody comes close to David Lakin and the Hoddy Tyres team. So give them a call on 01200 613 192 or visit the website at hoddytyres.co.uk.